Shalom from Rome, Italy. You're probably wondering, what am I doing awake at this time? It's midnight, and the reason why I decided to update you is simply because of a very disturbing development in the Middle East. And I thought you really want to know what's going on, simply because we're talking about Russia, which I more than once indicated that is Magog in the Bible, and Putin, which I believe, more than once called Gog, the Prince of Magog. I got conflicting information today regarding that piece of information that I'm about to share with you, but finally I was able to verify it with my own sources. And what's going on right now is that the spokesman of the Norwegian military intelligence just reported that basically a spy aircraft detected the movement of a huge Russian aircraft carrier known as Admiral Kuznetsov. It's a carrier that is carrying 15 fighter jets of Sukhoi 33 and MiG-29, and more than 10 helicopters of Ka-52K and Ka-27. We're also talking about other ships that are part of this whole flotilla, I would say. We're talking about something like 8 different Russian warships. One of them is also Pyotr the Great, named after one of the czars in Russia's history, and they were detected 2.5 days ago next to the island of Andoya, which is in northern Norway, and they're making their way all the way towards the Mediterranean. Now, why is it so important? This is the largest naval deployment of Russian vessels since the Cold War. Even in the Cold War, we never had such a massive Russian presence on the coast of the Mediterranean. They say, from my sources, they say that Putin is so tired of what's going on in Aleppo, that it's an ongoing fiasco, that his aircrafts aren't making any advance, and he is determined to completely I'll break Aleppo to pieces, just like he did in Grozny in Chechnya, where he literally destroyed a whole city that became a ghost town. And that's how basically he won the war there, and he put a puppet government and a puppet prime minister, and that's it. No, Putin learns the hard way that the Middle East is a little different. This is not Chechnya. This is a battleground of many different forces with many different hidden agendas. We're talking about the Kurds and the Turks. We're talking about the Sunnis and the Shiites. We're talking about the jihadists and the rest of the Islamic world. We're talking about so many different things. And in Aleppo, all of it merges together. And he's so tired. He doesn't like to play games. He doesn't like to drag his feet. He wants to put an end to it. What worries me the most is knowing Putin, when he brings forces to the Middle East, he never really sends them back. In other words, Russia is concentrating right now on the coast, north of Israel, basically, the largest military presence ever. And I'm saying again, ever. And that is an amazing move, because when we talk about Rosh and Meshech and Tuval, how Gog is coming all the way down, the Prince of Magog, when we talk about the hook in its jaw, which I believe, again, he's not there to defend Assad, he's not there to fight ISIS, he's there to defend his interests in the Mediterranean, which are the oil and gas that was found there. And so I believe the gas and the oil that Israel found and that exist in the Mediterranean are the hook in the jaw of Rosh. And this is why he is sending massive forces right now into the Mediterranean. It's important that you understand that the reason why I'm so excited is because I have never seen Ezekiel 38 so close and so vivid and so real as I see it right now. Now, it doesn't mean that Israel is going to suffer a war tomorrow. Not at all. It actually means that the road to an attack on Israel from the moment the decision is made is basically half an hour to an hour, and it's no longer days, weeks, or months as normally diplomacy dictates when it comes to countries that are not even close to each other. So what we are seeing again is Gog, the prince of Magog, making his move to basically deploy his largest ever presence over there next to Syria. Now, people are asking me, is Russia going to attack America? Of course not. The whole idea was that the Russians wanted the Americans not to interfere in what is going on in the Middle East. Now watch what they did. They threatened with a nuclear threat, and now nobody would like to start anything or somehow provoke them when it comes to their presence in military presence in Syria. This is exactly what they wanted. They didn't want to attack America. They wanted America to be concentrating on that threat, and so we'll let them do what they want to do in the Middle East. I said that a couple days ago, and I'm saying that again. The American-Russian tension is a smokescreen for what is going on in Syria. This is why the attack on Mosul, as I said, is not in a strangely timing. Barack Obama is trying to somehow save his dignity in the Middle East by ordering 20 days before the elections an assault on the largest Sunni city in northern Iraq, a city with 1.4 million people. And what can I say? It is more than a big mistake, because what we're seeing right now is that it's mostly Shiite militias led by a Shiite military, the Iraqi military, that are about to take over a Sunni city. Now, the reason why in 2014 ISIS took over Mosul is because the Shiite Iraqi army was so afraid of the rising Sunni power called ISIS. They could care less about the Sunni residents of Mosul because they are Sunnis. The army is Shiites, so they had no problem abandoning all of their positions in Mosul and run away, and that's how ISIS took over. So ISIS took over because the Shiites didn't care that the Sunnis will fall under the hands of ISIS. And right now, suddenly, they care. Suddenly, ISIS is a big problem. Suddenly, this is a real deal. And obviously, the timing is so suspicious. Obviously, we can see that the strings are being pulled from Washington right now. And believe it or not, the same president that promised you that there are no more boots on the ground and no more Americans in Iraq is lying again, because there are American troops in that great assault right now. The Aleppo battle is going on also in Syria. And unfortunately, again, the world is not stopping that carnage over there. And as always, it's the innocent people that are caught in the line of fire. Again, the reason why I decided to come with this type of special report is that Gog is making his great move of bringing military presence in massive forces all the way towards Syria. They're now sailing, we're talking about the Northern Sea all the way towards the Mediterranean eventually. We will see them reaching the Mediterranean in a couple of days. Again, this report came from the Norwegian intelligence, military intelligence, and it was quoted by a very high official in NATO just a couple hours ago, that we are talking about a deployment of the largest of its kind since the end of the Cold War. I needed to verify some of that. I needed to verify what is it that they're bringing. I needed to verify what ships we're talking about. And now I can tell you we're talking about a massive air power, air striking power, because that aircraft carrier is bringing more bombers and more jets, fighter jets, and they're not really going to fight air-to-air fights. Or we're talking about air-to-ground. We're talking about completely obliterating the city of Aleppo. I'm kind of amazed at how the world is quiet about that destruction, and how the world will not be quiet about the destruction of Damascus that Isaiah in chapter 17 reports. And as I said many times, I believe that eventually it is the destruction of Damascus that will bring about the attack on Israel, as in Ezekiel 38 and 39. So the world may be able to tolerate the destruction of Aleppo. Probably Damascus will be too much, and that's when everyone will say enough is enough. I'm wondering, the Bible doesn't really say who is going to attack Damascus. I'm wondering whether Israel is going to be the one because of some imminent existential threat from that part, or someone else will do it and Israel will be blamed for it. One thing is for sure, the match that I believe will start the fire that will escalate into Ezekiel's war, I believe the key is in Damascus. So, once again, we keep our eyes on Damascus, we keep our eyes on Syria, but also all of us can lift up our heads and get very excited. As I said, when Jesus described all of these events, it is definitely so we will know that our gathering, the salvation of our body, the redemption of us as we are in this world is drawing near. So I'm excited. I can't wait to share with the saints here in Rome in just a couple of days during my birthday. This is really important. I also want to encourage you to download my app, Behold Israel, on Android or on Apple devices, because you're going to get daily news, text messages and push notifications of things that are going on, as well as alerts on stuff that I'm doing. Also, you can visit our Facebook page, Behold Israel, or my own, Amir Tsarfati. And we also have some fun with Instagram. I'm called Behold Israel, one word, on Instagram. You can follow us, like us over there. I'm normally putting pictures of places where I'm going and things that I'm doing in the ministry, and also a little bit with the family. So, God bless you all from Rome, the capital of Italy. And I will update you if there are more things to update. Thank you for telling me every time you write something where you're from. It's extremely important. We just realized that we have followers from every continent on planet Earth besides South America, and I'm doing something about it. It's all about the language, and I'm getting someone to start translating all my stuff to Spanish, so that part of the world will be able to also get it and engage. So thank you for your prayers. Again, get the app, Behold Israel. Go on our webpage, beholdisrael.org, our Facebook page, and Behold Israel on Instagram if you want also to see some nice things. God bless you. Stay strong. Keep your faith. And, in just a couple of hours, there's that final debate. I want to encourage the Americans, don't lose hope. Don't be weary. Don't have that spirit of defeat. Things can change and can turn around if you only do what you need to do and go to vote the right way with or for the most biblical platform. And I guess by now you know what I'm talking about. God bless you. I love you all from Rome, Italy. Shalom and Laila Tov. Good night.